Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NAVS Home School. I am Sabreena, Haque, Assistant Teacher of Science, National Ideal English Mission School, Ch-6. Dear students, today I am going to take a chemistry class for class 9 student based on chapter 6, the concept of mole, and this is the last part of the chapter. Along with the last part, we also discussed the CQ's answer of that chapter. So let us move for our today's topic. We will start from the lesson 6.3.2, then mole and chemical equation. Certain amount of reactant react with a certain amount of another reactant and produce a certain amount of product or products. The branch of chemistry that deals with the measurement of the products from amount of reactant and the measurements of reactant from the amount of products is called stoichiometry. And look, this is the magnesium react with oxygen and produce magnesium oxide, and there 2 magnesium, after balancing here is 2 magnesium oxide made because there is 2 oxygen. For balancing the 2 oxygen we have to write here this 2, and when we give this 2 we also need 2 magnesium. There we have to provide also another 2, and now the equation become balanced. Now we can say 2 mole of magnesium react with 1 mole of oxygen produce 2 mole of magnesium oxide. This is the mole and chemical equation in short. Now come to next one, that is limiting reactant. Dear students, if there is more than one reactant in a chemical reaction, it is not always possible to supply all reactant in required amount. When the supplied after waiting, as a result some reactant complete the reaction and nothing of it remains, and at the end, while the another reactant was also there in the reaction but some residue of the remain at the end. The reactant that finished itself during the reaction is called limiting reactant. That means which reactant has been finished before finishing the reaction, that reactant is known as limiting reactant. And here 4 oxygen molecule put into 4 atoms of magnesium metal, which will be limiting reactant here. Here there is 2 magnesium oxide react with oxygen and produce 2 magnesium dioxide. According to there is 4 magnesium atom of magnesium metal. That means when 4 magnesium metal and 4 oxygen molecule react with each other, according to the question, 4 magnesium plus, okay, sorry students, I will show the another examples. This is given to your book, that is, if in the question that is written 25 gram nitrogen react with 20 gram oxygen and produce nitrous oxide, and here we have to find out amount of nitrogen and oxygen which is limiting reactant, and we have to find out first nitrogen plus oxygen produce 2 nitrous oxide, and here we know the nitrogen's atomic mass is 14 into 2, that means 28, and oxygen atomic mass is 16 into 2 is equal to 32. That means 28 gram nitrogen react with 32 gram oxygen to produce nitrous oxide, or 28 gram nitrogen react with 32 gram oxygen to produce nitrous oxide. So 1 gram nitrogen react with 32 divided by 28 gram oxygen. Next one, here is given 25 gram. 25 gram nitrogen react with 32 multiply 25 divided by 28. The result will be, if you calculate, it will be 28.37. 28.37 gram oxygen. So 25 gram nitrogen will react with 28.37 gram of oxygen, but here in the question we get only 20 gram of oxygen. So oxygen will finish first when the reaction will going on, because 20 gram of nitrogen have to react with 28.37 gram of oxygen. So here in this equation, so here limiting reactant is, I am using the short form, limiting reactant is oxygen. Here limiting reactant is oxygen. This is the result of the question. This is how we have to find out the limiting reactant if we get the problems. And next one is about the yield. This portion we have discussed about the reactant, and now we are going to the yield. That means calculation of the percentage of yield. What is yield? After the reaction, which product we get, that is known as yield. Here given the equation, this by using the formula we can find out the percentage of yield, that is amount of product obtained from the reaction multiplied by 100, because there is written percentage, and calculated amount of product from the reaction. That means if we have the question like this way, here 2 gram of metallic magnesium react with necessary amounts of oxygen and produce 3.25 gram of magnesium oxide. What is the percentage of yield? Like this way we can easily find out that calcium, 1 mole of calcium oxide react with 1 mole carbon dioxide, produce calcium carbonate and how many grams? 4.20 gram of calcium carbonate, and this is the given obtained amount from the reaction, given in the question. Then we have to find out the percentage of yield. For finding the percentage of yield, we have to first calculate, that is 40, calcium atomic mass is 40, oxygen atomic mass is 16, so total atomic mass is 56. Now come to carbon dioxide, this is 12 plus 16 plus 2, that will be 44. That means 56 gram of calcium oxide react with 44 gram of carbon dioxide, produce, that if we calculate, that will be 100 gram of calcium carbonate. And if there is 2 gram of calcium, according to the question, if there is 2 gram of calcium carbonate react with 2 gram of calcium carbonate react with required amount of carbon dioxide, produce 4.20 gram of calcium carbonate. What is the percentage of yield? For that, 56 gram of calcium carbonate react with carbon dioxide, produce 100 gram of calcium carbonate. 56 1 gram of calcium oxide produce 100 by 56 calcium carbonate. So 2 gram of calcium oxide produce 100 by 56 multiplied by 2. If we calculate this, this will be 4.54 calcium gram carbonate. Now our calculate amount of yield is 4.54 and our obtained amount is, this is the calculate amount and this is the obtained amount. Obtained amount is 4.20. So the percentage of yield is equal to 4.20 divided by 4.54 multiplied by 100. If we calculate, that will be the if we calculate, we can easily find out that percentage of yield. So students, this was our discussion of the chapter. Now come to the exercise. First question, MCQ question is, what is the volume of 2 gram hydrogen in the standard condition? Dear students, in hydrogen gas, when we write, the molecule of hydrogen gas is H2. That means one atom is 1 gram, 2 atom of hydrogen, 2 into 1, that means 2 gram. That means one molecule of hydrogen has 2 gram of hydrogen. So in standard condition, 1 mole of hydrogen volume is 22.4 liter, because this is the molar volume of all gas in standard condition. Now come to the next one. Which of the following is the formula of calcium phosphate? And this is the answer. Calcium's valency is 2 and phosphate valency is 3. That 3 will be written with calcium and the calcium valency 2 will be written with phosphate. That means that 2 is the valency of calcium and that 3 is the valency of phosphate radical. That's why the answer is D. Now come to next one. 5 gram of hydrogen gas is passed on to the 75 gram of chlorine gas. So how many chlorine atoms are in the reaction of the stems? And according to the Avogadro, according to the Avogadro number, 71 gram chlorine has 6.02 multiplied with 10 to the power 23, and we have to find out the 75 grams has how many atoms. So 6.02 multiplied with 10 to the power 23 divided by 71 multiplied by 75. It will be the calculation and the result will be this one, 6.36 multiplied with 10 to the power 23. Now come to which of the following is collected as the remains of the reaction. If we calculate that, we know 1 mole of hydrogen react with 1 mole of chlorine, produce 1 mole hydrochloric acid. Like this way, if we calculate that 5 gram, that means 5 mole, how many mole will make that much of chlorine? That it will be 1.44 mole chlorine. It will be remains at the reaction. Now come to the next one, that What is the volume of 17 gram 17 gram ammonia gas in the standard condition? Ammonia gas formula is NH3. Here the atomic mass is 14 plus 3 into 1, that means 17. Then 17 gram ammonia means 1 mole of ammonia. Then molar volume of all gas in standard condition is 22.4. So answer will be 22.4. Now last one is, how many moles are there in 10 gram calcium oxide? Then calcium carbonate, that means we know calcium carbonate is 100 gram. So 100 gram contains 6.03 multiply with 23, that means calculation will be 6.02 multiply with 10 to the power 23 divided by 100 multiply by 10, and if we calculate it will be, 10 will be cut down, then there will be 1 10 will be minus, that means 10 to the power 22. Then this will be the answer, 6.02 multiply with 10 to the power 22. This is the answer of this. Now come to the CQ. The CQ, first CQ is, this is the stem of the CQ. In one bottle there is 4 gram hydrochloric acid mixed up with 100 ml water, and this is the 4 gram of sodium hydroxide mixed up with 4 gram of sodium hydroxide and water solution 100 ml. And now come to question, what is mole? What do you understand by empirical formula and molecular formula? Determine the composition of salt can be formed by combining the solution shown in the stem, and last one, will the molarity of the shown solution be same, and give a mathematical explanation there, students. Next question answer A is, a mole of a substance is the atomic or molecular mass of the substance that is expressed in gram. Now come to the empirical formula. When the simple ratio of the number of atoms present in each molecule of a compound using symbol, it is known as empirical formula. Now come to molecular formula. When the number of each element present in one molecule of a compound are shown by using symbols is called the molecular formula of a compound. Now come to question answer C. We have to determine the composition of salt that can be formed by combining solution of shown in the stem, that is hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. When react with each other, both hydrochloric is an acid and sodium hydroxide is a base. When it is react with each other, it produces sodium chloride salt and water. Now come to the answer. The solution in the stem is hydrochloric acid solution and an alkali solution, sodium hydroxide solution, and if these two solutions are mixed together, sodium chloride salt and water are formed through the neutralization reaction. Because the product is not nor acid or nor a base, so this reaction is known as neutralization reaction. The equation of the reaction is HCl, that means hydrochloric acid, NaOH, that means sodium hydroxide, react with each other, produce NaCl, that means sodium chloride plus water. Now determining the composition of sodium chloride salt, relative molecular mass of sodium chloride, sodium's atomic mass is 23 and chlorine's atomic mass is 35.5. So it will be 58.5. In the compound, relative atomic mass of sodium is 23, relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. Now composition of sodium is 23 divided by 58.5 multiplied by 100. It will be 39.32%. Now come to composition of chlorine. It will be 35.5 divided by 58.5 multiplied by 100, the result will be 60.68. Dear students, question number D will be your homework. So come to next question. 4.4 gram of carbon dioxide, 5 gram calcium oxide is mixed to prepare 10 gram calcium carbonate. The expected yield is not met after the reaction is over. The first question, what is chemical equation? Second question, explain the molar volume of carbon dioxide. and determine how many moles of carbon dioxide was used in the reaction. And last one, give logical explanation of lesser yield that is expected to the reaction in the reaction of the stem. Now come to next first question answer. Chemical equation is a short expression of a chemical process by the symbol of elements, formula and sign. Now come to answer of B. The volume of 1 mole of a substance is called its molar volume. The molar volume of any gaseous substance under standard condition, that is 0 degree Celsius temperature and 1 atmospheric pressure, is 22.4 liter. In the same way, 1 molar volume of 1 mole or 44 gram of carbon dioxide at 1 atmospheric pressure and 0 degree temperature is stated 22.4 liters. Now last one is, according to the stem, 4.4 gram carbon dioxide has been used to the reaction. So molecular mass of carbon dioxide 12 is the molecular mass of carbon. Here carbon atomic mass is 12, oxygen atomic mass is 16, and this is the calculation, that 12 plus 16 multiplied by 2, that will be the 44, or we can express like this way, 12 plus 32, it will be 44 gram. Now we know mole number is given mass divided by molecular mass in gram, that means 4.4 is given mass and divided by molecular mass is 44, and that will be decimal 1 mole. So decimal 1 mole of carbon dioxide is used in the reaction. Dear students, D you have to find out by calculation, it will be your homework too. Now come to homework number 4. I have told already, you have to solve the problems of CQ1's D and CQ2's D as your homework, and you have to submit on Saturday from 9 am to 3 pm. Dear students, I have finished my today's topic. This chapter is too much easy and we have to finish our chapter, and next chapter is chemical reaction. So read that chapter and take preparation for that. So up to that time, stay safe, stay home. Thank you all.